Tiger Woods is looking to put his poor recent form behind him at the Players' Championship in Florida. He could lose his status as the world #1 if he finishes outside the top 5, and the world #2, Phil Mickelson, should win the event.
Next on the tee.
As the clouds roll in across the Mediterranean, you'll still find it easy to drift away.
Hello there, good evening. Well, still some clear skies for parts of the Midlands across into East Anglia, southern parts of Lincolnshire. Temperatures will drop away overnight, though. It's disappointingly cloudy as well for much of the north into that southwest corner. A fair few showers to come for southern parts of Wales. Northern parts of Cornwall too could be particularly heavy this evening and through the night. We could even see some rumbles of thunder. Temperatures dropping away to 3 degrees in some rural spots. Most of the cities, though, 4 or 5 degrees. And you can see the showery activity slowly easing away into that southwestern corner, Wales, eastern parts of Ireland. There will be some sunshine. The best of that through the east of Scotland, down through northern England. Temperatures between about 11 and 14. Then through the afternoon, cloud and persistent rain will drag in from the North Sea, sinking southwards on Saturday.
Qatar Airways.
A reminder, you can watch Britain's first ever high-definition election night programme live on
We understand you're at your best when you can just relax and be yourself. And at Holiday Inn, you always can. Holiday Inn. Stay you.
If you're not using Roundup, there's something you should know. That perennial weed you thought was dead could come back again and again. Some other weed killers only kill the leaves. Roundup kills the root. And if a weed doesn't have any roots, it can never come back. Try Roundup 5-litre Pump and Go. Just pump and go for continuous direct spraying. Kill the root, kill the weed with Roundup.
Drip by drip, your inkjet printer is costing you money every single time you print. Last year, the UK spent a staggering £770 million on inkjet printer ink. Seems like a lot. Don't you wish you could pay less for ink and save money for the more important things in life? Switch to a Kodak all-in-one printer and enjoy high-quality, low-cost ink. Find out how much money you could save at printandprosper.com.
Introducing essential savings from Tesco. We've reduced the price of hundreds of your favourite everyday essentials. So, that's the price of feeding your family sorted. The bill for stocking your cupboards sorted. And the cost of bathroom essentials sorted. And when we compared prices with Asda on Monday, shopping was cheaper for over 750,000 Tesco customers. Essential savings at Tesco. Every little helps.
With the iPhone, even being on hold is better.
Please hold.
You can check your email, check on your parcel. And when you hear,
"Your call is important to us,"
you know you've probably got time to do this. Yep, the iPhone comes in handy in all kinds of ways.
See something new with Sky Anytime. Explore a selection of amazing programs ready to watch when you are. Press red on your TV guide to discover something new. Sky. Believe in better.
The talking is over, the debates are history. A thrilling election contest has just an hour to run. Millions have had their say. In just a few hours we'll know who, if anyone, they have chosen to run the country. This is Sky News HD, and this is Decision Time. This is Sky News Live from Witney in Oxfordshire, where in the next few hours David Cameron's going to arrive here at the count. The big question is, when he leaves this place, is he going to be the next Prime Minister or still Leader of the Opposition?
Or can Gordon Brown, based here in Kirkcaldy, perform an election comeback and win his first general election?
Well, Nick Clegg is the man who blew this contest wide open. Is he about to give his party its first taste of power in decades?
Well, a very good evening from Witney in Oxfordshire. Welcome to Decision Time and welcome to a brand new channel, Sky News HD. If you've got Sky HD or you've got an HD ready TV, then tune right now to channel 517 and see the difference. But we'll be bringing you all the very latest news throughout election night here. It's Sky News Decision Time in HD as well. Right here in Witney, they are waiting to start counting in the next hour or so. The polls close in the 92 polling stations here at 10 o'clock, and the first box expected here at the Windrush Leisure Centre around 50 minutes later, 10:15. Chief Returning Officer Keith Butt was telling me he hopes that all the boxes from those 92 polling stations are going to arrive here for the counters by around 11 o'clock. There are going to be possibly 78,500 voters who will have cast their polls today. 8,000 ballot papers already been sent out by postal votes, and many of those have already come in. They are waiting to be counted. The returning officers telling me hopes with 80 counters here and 20 supervisors, they will get through the business of not only a parliamentary election but also local counting as well in good time tonight. He said he'd be very pleased if it's all done and dusted by 3 o'clock, but he said elections are always unpredictable, so allow for the worst and prepare for the best as well. But what has David Cameron been doing all day today? Probably the tensest and most apprehensive day of his life. Joey Jones has been with him. Joe.
Jeremy, David Cameron has had a day of trying to take it easy. Hopefully, from his point of view, the last one for a while. He was out pretty early doors voting with his wife Samantha, and now he is back home in the idyllic setting within his Witney constituency behind me. I'm assured he's watching at the moment, and he's surrounded by his closest advisors, some of whom go back, obviously, way back to his 2005 leadership campaign. His wife, obviously, Samantha, some way beyond that. Others who've been brought on board more recently, someone like, say, Andy Coulson. But, I mean, this is a very tight team that he's built up, and this is very much Team Cameron, who'll be sticking together this evening and watching as things develop. I could tell you he's relaxed, but of course that wouldn't be true. Who could be relaxed right at the moment with such a prize so near at hand? He's been out there in the back garden chopping wood, a rather rustic way of trying to get the tension out, not the sort of thing that is necessarily encouraged in Downing Street. But obviously, you know, you've heard the thwacks echoing across the valley through the afternoon, I think startling the birds and the police officers in equal measure. But what he's going to try and do is stay loose, to watch how things develop through the evening. He'll go down to the count, obviously, later as the count develops, as you've been saying, Jeremy, and then once they've got a clearer picture of how things are shaking out, then back into central London.
Thanks a lot, Jerry. So, David Cameron chopping logs. I bet that Gordon Brown's been crunching numbers, though, wondering whether he can become Prime Minister again, and he's first in a general election. Let's go straight across to his constituency in Kirkcaldy and pick up the story with Kay. Evening, Kay.
Evening, Jeremy. Welcome to Kirkcaldy and Cowdenbeath. It's a small industrial town on the Firth of Forth. It's been home to Gordon Brown since he was 3. This is St Bridesdale Church. His father was minister here for 13 years. A young Gordon ran a tuck shop in the garage. Come inside. They are going to come through here, the ballot boxes. There's 94 of them in total. They should be here around about 12 minutes past 10, something like that, certainly the first one. They're going to come here to these tables. There are 84 counters. Some of them are bank tellers. Most of them are council workers, and they'll be sitting here. The ballot box will be tipped out in front of them. And first of all, they will make sure that the number of ballots in the boxes tally with a piece of paper that's over here, where the accountant, as you can see, he will sit here and he'll tell them how many are inside. If that all works, it'll go back and they'll count them again. I'm meant to get you a basket. Oh, there's one here. Let's find one here. Martin, here we go. 1,000 at a time. They'll go in here, then they'll go to the back there. Can you see they're all lined up at the back? And then every one of them will carry 1,000. They'll be piling them up like that. And there you go, 3,000, etc., etc. We've already got some here, postal ballots. They will be starting counting them at something like 10 o'clock. They'll be tipped out straight away. And if finally, the returning officer will stand here, he will say, I declare Sky News duly elected as the first HD general election programme, or words to that effect. What's the Prime Minister been doing today? Let's find out. Neil Patterson is with him. Hi, Neil.
Evening, Kay. Relaxed and confident. That's what one senior advisor said to me when I asked about the Prime Minister's mood just a little bit earlier on today. If you haven't cast your vote yet, you've only got about 55 minutes to do so. But as you can imagine, Gordon Brown was up pretty early this morning doing so, putting his ex next to the spot here in his home of New Queensferry, right on the Forth, a beautiful little picturesque village. At the moment, we're told he's inside his house with his wife Sarah. I questioned whether or not he'd be watching the coverage this evening. One advisor said, well, you know, that's not really his thing. But what we can tell you about what he's been up to today, the Prime Minister went out to speak to party activists to thank them for all their hard work that's been going on today. Sarah Brown also out and about meeting Labour Party workers, congratulating them and thanking them for all that they have done through this campaign. I mean, clearly, of course, we are now getting very, very close to the close of polls. Certainly, though, the Prime Minister, as I said before, relaxed and confident as we head into a very historic night.
OK, Neil, for now, thanks very much indeed. Looking at the House of Commons, we're going to have our projections on the House of Commons throughout the evening, so do stay tuned our way here on Sky News. This has been Gordon Brown's seat in various disguises and guises since 1983, and he last won it in 2005 with a majority of 18,000. The SNP was second, the Lib Dems were third. We're expecting the result around about 1 o'clock. Prime Minister should arrive about 12:30 or thereabouts. Stay tuned our way for more on that. Meantime, what's happening in Sheffield? Let's find out with Anna.
Kay, thanks very much indeed. So 4 extraordinary weeks of campaigning, 3 crucial television debates, and here we are, decision time. The first boxes will be arriving through those doors at about 10:15, and the man who arguably transformed this election, Nick Clegg, is fighting once again for the seat of Sheffield Hallam, which he's held since 2005. That is one of 6 of the constituencies being counted here. Look out also for another famous name, David Blunkett. He'll be turning up a little bit later. And if you see those black bags there, that is the postal votes. And interestingly here, across these 6 constituencies, about 1/5 of the electorate have already voted by post. And although this is a largely urban area, I suppose, it does stretch south to the Derbyshire Dales, it stretches west to the Peak District and north to rural areas, so they won't start getting the results here until about 2 a.m. Well, earlier on today, Nick Clegg strolled from his home to go and vote alongside his wife Miriam, colourfully dressed, not quite in Lib Dem gold, I suppose, chatting also to people as he went. Some people even throwing him a question, who did you vote for, as if we couldn't guess. So he's voted. What else is outside his house? Rachel.
Yes, absolutely pouring down in this leafy suburb of Sheffield. Nick Clegg himself managing to dodge the rain. He got back home with his wife Miriam about an hour or so ago, having toured local polling stations to thank his supporters. He told me he was amazed to see the queues, one of them stretching back an hour and a half at one of the local polling stations here. He's had a pretty relaxed day, not surprisingly, compared to the rest of the election campaign. He went off to vote, as you said, Anna, and then came back and threw his doors open, in fact, to all the journalists who've been following him around the country here, serving us all tea and cake. He wanted to go off for a walk in the Peak District, which is just up the road from here. You'll remember that that was something he did before all of the 3 televised debates to clear his head. He wasn't able to do that today. Things got a little busier than expected. He told me he was rather disappointed about that. But he said that he's been really looking forward to simply spending some time with his wife Miriam, because of the demands of her job in the city, she's not been out campaigning nearly as much as the other wives involved. So he's managed to do that. He said that his plans for the evening included having a bit of supper, making a few phone calls, and of course watching the television. So very little time left to relax before he has to head off to the count. He's expected to do that at around 1:32 in the morning. He'll make his speech there and then head down to Westminster for whatever may await him.
Well, here at Sky News Centre in London, we've got the biggest and boldest operation yet to make sure that we get you every key result first. And of course, we're going to have all sorts of eye candy for Sky News viewers throughout the evening, including, you can see there on the bottom of your screen, we're going to have our seat counter, which will show how many constituencies have been won by each of the parties as the night wears on. On the other side, we'll also show you the gains, losses, vote shares and turnout. And in the middle, our video printer will have all the results as they're declared, so you won't miss a thing. Now, what's going on at the moment is that we're currently counting down to 10 p.m. when the polls close and when we can bring you the details of our major exit poll. For the first time ever, this has been conducted for Sky News, ITV News and the BBC, and it should give the most accurate picture of the way the seats have gone. Then, as the night goes on and the real results pour in, we'll update that to give you our own Sky News forecast all over in that corner. And, of course, we'll have all the latest breaking news in the race for number 10. And meanwhile, don't forget, you can also get election news from us on our website by following our Twitter feed and by checking the Sky News iPhone app. Or you can tune into Sky News radio updates on your local commercial radio station if you're having to move around. And also throughout the night, I'll be joined by Martin Stanford, who'll be here analysing every twist and turn as results pour in at his news wall. Martin.
Adam, good evening to you. This is the Sky 100. These are the seats we'll be keeping our eye on as the night goes on. These are the colours of the parties that held these seats before this election was called. We have teams in all these seats to bring you the results as they come in. And this wall will update with those results. I wonder how many will change hands. We're also going to be tracking the faces to watch tonight, the key seats in this election battle, and the names, some well known, some not so well known, that will come together and shape the next Parliament. And talking of Parliament, we'll bring you the numbers, of course, that matter. We have our very own House of Commons, and later in the night, we'll reveal the Sky News forecast, which will project how many of the seats in the new House of Commons will be filled up by MPs of which party. For the moment, and of course a single vote hasn't been counted just yet, let's remind you of what this place looked like at dissolution in the old Parliament. There's the government benches, Labour 349. On the notional results, due to the boundary changes, they're down 7. On the other side, the Conservatives, 210. They do well out of the boundary changes, up 12. The Liberal Democrats had 62, and there's no real change. And the other parties, 1 fewer MP, 29 as a result of those notional changes to boundaries. We'll update these figures with the real MPs as they get elected throughout the night.
Welcome to Sunderland in the northeast. Why are we in Sunderland and why does Sunderland love elections? General elections in particular, because for the last 4 general elections, Sunderland has declared first, second and third constituencies of the night. You can see the jib cameras out there waiting for the arrival of the first ballot boxes. They're brought in not just by any old council workers, but by strapping fit sixth formers, brought in for the event because they're fast, they're strong and they're light on their feet. How do they get it counted so quickly? Here are just some of the counters. All in all, there are 180 counters working in this constituency counting area, 3 constituencies to count, 212,000 ballots eventually to be counted. That's the maximum, of course. It depends on turnout. How do they do it? Well, half of these people, I'm reliably informed, work in the banking business or the building society business or in the Treasury Department of the council, so they're used to doing a quick count. Another little tip I've learned from the people of Sutherland is the thimble. This is what it's all about. That's how you get through those ballot papers as quickly as possible, getting through them. Now, this is how it works over here. 3 different constituencies. Houghton and Sunderland South here, Washington, Sunderland West over here, and Sunderland Central at the end of the hall. This is a tennis centre here, and luckily they've already had the floors marked out for us. The blue areas, which are the tennis courts, that's where we won't be allowed to go once 10 o'clock strikes. The green areas is where the media can go. Now, why is Sunderland obsessed with becoming first? They've even started printing the ballots on 80-gram paper instead of 100-gram paper. Why? Because it's easier to count, quicker to get through. They're obsessed with doing it. The quote I've got, and you'll like this, is it's the satisfaction that flows from the endeavour. That's the quote for the election returns officer here in Sunderland. The final declarations of all three constituencies will be announced from that podium there. And we'll be bringing those to you as and when they happen live here on Sky News, now in HD. Let's give you an idea of the timings. Well, all I can tell you is back in 2005, 10:44 p.m. was the first, 11:25 p.m. was the second, and 11:32 p.m. was the third. I've got a feeling you're going to be hearing from us again pretty soon.
Now let's have a look at some of the parts of the country we're going to be lighting up for you this evening in Sky News and Sky News HD. That is the Houses of Parliament, where we're going to be able to tell you all about the decision time and which of the three leaders is going to emerge coming out best. And that is Battersea Power Station. That's over the river from the Houses of Parliament, which actually is in a pretty safe Tory seat. Battersea Power Station is in a key marginal, and where there you are, you see the votes pouring into the towers of Battersea Power Station. So a lot still to come, and most importantly, you still have 42 minutes to get to your local poll station if you haven't voted already. 42 minutes, and then at 10 o'clock the polls close, and we will have the exit poll telling you how those votes have really gone.
Here at Halifax, we don't just like to say hi to all our reward current account customers. They get £5 each month. So we say to them, high five! Say hi to £5 each month with a Halifax Reward current account.
Welcome to my world. Won't you come on in? Welcome to my world.
Over 18,000 staff, ready to take care of you every step of the way. Thompson Holidays, built with you in mind.
In South Australia I was born. Heave away, haul away. South Australia, round Cape Horn.
This is the wonderful sound of Port Isaac's Fishermen's Friends. A group of lifelong friends deliver a hearty collection of songs from the sea. Get a taste of the Cornish coast with the heartwarming album from Port Isaac's Fishermen's Friends. Out now.
Want to get more out of life. That's why the new Ford S-Max is designed to let you.
The Amazon rainforest, home of the jaguar. But for how much longer? The rainforest is being destroyed, and now the jaguar is a threatened species. But with your help, it's not too late. Adopt a jaguar for £3 a month, and Sky will match your donation. please call 0800 138 8037 or go to skyjaguar.com today. You'll receive a special adoption pack. Together with Sky Rainforest Rescue, you can help protect the home of the Jaguar.
Welcome back to Sky News and our election night special broadcast, and welcome to Birmingham and the National Indoor Arena. Now, this vast building is normally the venue for big sports